Merrick Garland coming out after the initial Republican reaction. And look, yes, I think that largely the FBI, highly problematic organization, to say the least. Quite aware of all their spying that they have done, domestic spying on people of the left for decades and decades and decades, of Muslims for the past couple of decades. I think there's some other elements of corruption within the FBI that I also have a problem with. That said, one would imagine that they were very, very cautious in going after Donald Trump. One would imagine. Here is Attorney General Merrick Garland first announcing that no, contrary to the stories that are out there, that this is a rogue FBI unit going and doing this, that Merrick Garland was, yes, he personally approved the application for the search warrant that was involved in Trump's hotel, Mar-A-Lago.
Rock principle of the Justice Department and of our democracy. Upholding the rule of law means applying the law evenly, without fear or favor. Under my watch, that is precisely what the Justice Department is doing. All Americans are entitled to the even-handed application of the law, to due process of the law, and to the presumption of innocence. Much of our work is by necessity conducted out of the public eye. We do that to protect the constitutional rights of all Americans and to protect the integrity of our investigations. Federal law, long-standing department rules, and our ethical obligations prevent me from providing further details as to the basis of the search at this time. There are, however, certain points I want you to know. First, I personally approved the decision to seek a search warrant in this matter. Second, the department does not take such a decision lightly. Where possible, it is standard practice to seek less intrusive means as an alternative to a search and to narrowly scope any search that is undertaken. Third, let me address recent unfounded attacks on the
He just gets into saying, like, it's unfair to, scrutinize FBI agents and stuff like that. So,
yes, I imagine. But also, here he is talking about the, well, let's play one more clip from that same thing. Go ahead.
Became Attorney General, I have made clear that the Department of Justice will speak through its court filings and its work. Just now, the Justice Department has filed a motion in the Southern District of Florida to unseal a search warrant and property receipt relating to a court-approved search that the FBI conducted earlier this week. That search was of premises located in Florida belonging to the former president. The department did not make any public statements on the day of the search. The former president publicly confirmed the search that evening, as is his right. Copies of both the warrant and the FBI property receipt were provided on the day of the search to the former president's counsel, who was on site during the search. The search warrant was authorized by a federal court upon the required finding of probable cause. The property receipt is a document that federal law requires law enforcement agents to leave with the property owner. The department filed the motion to make public the warrant and receipt in light of the former president's public confirmation of the search, the surrounding circumstances, and the substantial public interest in this matter. Faithful adherence to the rule of law is the bedrock principle of the Justice Department and of our democracy. Upholding the rule.
Okay, so there it is. Basically quashing, well, first off, Garland addressing the idea that this was somehow some type of rogue operation, but didn't go through the proper channels. And then what he's doing is he's essentially calling Donald Trump's bluff, saying, we're happy to release the thing that we gave you because you keep claiming you want us to release it, even though you could release it. And for whatever reason, and Donald Trump appears to have said that they want to release it or that they want it released, but they haven't quite, I think his statement was something, release the documents around the warrant, as opposed to specific elements of the warrant. They're not going to release all of it. They're not going to release what they told the judge in terms of what evidence they had that those things existed there. If they had an informant who let them know that those things existed there, which really appears to be the case, but it's unclear. But they're going to release what they were looking for and essentially why. And Donald Trump could release it himself, but he doesn't seem to want to. And apparently all the stories about that the FBI raided Mar-a-Lago, and let's be clear, it's not Donald Trump's official residence. He's not allowed to live there, I think, based upon court fights he's had with local municipal government. But apparently Trump's attorney was there, so they obviously had advance notice about this search. And this attorney doesn't either. It's either there's one of two things going on with this attorney. One, they're not terribly adept at anticipating the most obvious questions from friendly people, or they're also making sure that they're not implicated in a problem. This is Trump's attorney, Christina Bobb, on with Laura Ingraham.
Okay, so Christina, just so I'm clear about this, I want to be really clear. Is it your understanding that there were not documents related to our nuclear capabilities or nuclear issues that had national security implications in the president's possession when the agents showed up at Mar-a-Lago?
That's correct. I don't believe they were. And if they thought
well,
they were...
do you know for a fact? Do you know for a fact they were? Have you spoken to the president about it?
I have not specifically spoken to the president about what nuclear materials may or may not have been in there. I do not believe there were any in there. The legal team had done a very thorough search and had turned over. We've been very cooperative with the Biden administration and the DOJ and turned over everything that we found that we had. So it's my understanding on very good belief based on a thorough investigation that there was nothing there.
So, Christina.
Yeah. You get a notice from the Justice Department. We're looking for nuclear documents. You don't ask your client about it. You just say, we believe, and I wonder who the we is here, because it's clearly not Trump, right? She's talking about the legal team. We as a legal team believe that we gave everything that we knew about. Yeah. In other words, I don't know the legality here about this, but there's in terms of what kind of responsibility you as a lawyer, if you are aware your client has documents that they should not have and have retained after handing over documents, right? Because the legal team is making some type of declaration when they gave them the 15 boxes, like, here's the stuff you asked for. And if it turns out to be not all the stuff they asked for, it could be somewhat problematic for people. We should also say that it's quite clear that if it is documents around nuclear weapons or the development of nuclear weapons, this stuff cannot be unilaterally classified by the president. There's basically statutes around atomic energy that say you need basically 2 sign-offs or some type of statutory authorization, and that wasn't there. So we shall see where this goes, but I wouldn't be surprised if Donald Trump announces he's running this weekend.
I also just want to mention, I said this a few times before, but some people might recall Christina Bobb was a anchor at OAN before this. That was her prior job.
Yeah, professional.
She looks like a great lawyer.
Yeah. So Trump saw her. He was like, get her on the payroll.
That's amazing.
And it's just like she said, it was her understanding based on her very good belief. And I don't know what more you could want than that.
How much more could there be? How much more could you expect? Her belief and what she sort of knew. So, folks, before we get to David Day, and just a word from our sponsor, Sunset Lake Sabbaday.com.